Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Daily Trust. The major story here says 98 Chibok schoolgirls still in captivity 9 years after. 98 Chibok schoolgirls still in captivity 9 years after. The writers freed girls to cry stigmatization. We never stopped praying for return of our daughter, principal. All the details on the front page of the Daily Trust. We'll move now to the front page of the Punch newspaper. All right, we can't take that because the election is tomorrow. All right, we move now to the front page of the Nation newspaper. Tinubu to Tribunal, petitions by Atiku PDP not competent. Tinubu to Tribunal, petitions by Atiku PDP not competent. You find out the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper. To the Daily Sun now, polls Tinubu Atiku continue bitter war. Polls Tinubu Atiku continue bitter war. Mike.
All right, I have this Nigeria here, and it says Tinubu tackles Atiku at Tribunal. He's a serial loser, urges court to dismiss PDP's petition. An INEC APC candidate didn't need 25% of votes in the FCT. That's what INEC is saying. All right, that's this Nigeria. Now let's go to Blueprint newspaper, and it's on the Presidential Tribunal. You're a serial loser. You saw your defeat coming, Tinubu tells Atiku. Seeks dismissal of PDP presidential candidates' petitions. 25% FCT votes not needed to win presidential election. INEC is saying this, all right? And then it goes ahead to talk about that $460,000 forfeiture case your arbitrar's ex-VP tells Tinubu. All right, you see this on the front page of Blueprint newspaper. Now let's go to First News. All right, First News, Time lists Tinubu amongst 2023 100 most influential people in the world. Says that his electoral victory not an easy feat in Africa's most populous country. All right, that's what First News has in there. From there, let's go to Leadership. Leadership newspaper. Federal government puts states on red alert over impending floods. It will likely be worse than 2022, and 80% of 774 local governments to be affected, right? And the stakeholders engaged to mitigate risks. All this you see on the front page of Friday Leadership. Nature News says Nigeria Delta communities seek feeder CSO support to fight pollution. Or Niger Delta, rather. Niger Delta communities seek feeder CSO support to fight pollution. Okay, from there, let's go to Business Day. Banks borrowing from CBN triples in 4 months. Banks borrowing from CBN triples in 4 months. That's what Business Day has. And the last one we're looking at now is Nigeria News Direct. And it says, World Bank lists anti-growth policies frustrating Nigeria's economy and highlights insecurity, dependency on oil, others. Lowers GDP projection growth to 2.8%. Okay? That's what News Direct has. Veronica?
All right. Let's look at some of the stories making headlines this morning, especially with regards to the Election Petitions Tribunal. Like the Daily Sun puts it, Tinubu Atiku continue bitter war. The president-elect told the tribunal that petitions by Atiku PDP not competent. Recall that the petition put forward by the PDP and Atiku was that Tinubu, the president-elect, was not qualified for the election as at the time of the election. And they also queried the matter of not adherence to the provisions of the Electoral Act by INEC. And then they also talked about the fact that the president-elect was not duly elected by the voters. So all of this back and forth is quite interesting to see.
Well, it's quite interesting, and I like the way it's going, because at the end of the day, the courts will now decide, and then everybody will now go to sleep. Now, we cannot preempt what the court is going to say.
Yes.
Now, the issue there is these things have not been properly tested before, so it looks like there's controversy. I'm interpreting the Constitution the way I see it, you're interpreting it the way you see it, and so on. The issue of the candidates not qualifying to contest election, where the APC presidential candidate does not qualify. The point there is, there are instances in the past where the court will say, if you are not the member of that party, you don't have the right to question the candidate of that party.
Yeah.
Because the point there is that you are an outsider.
Right.
You are not. You cannot be party to that to ask for for his qualification, as the case may be. However, it is a case in court right now, and the court will decide on the issue of the 25% majority. You have to win 2/3, 25%.
Yes.
And all of that in the FCT. The
matter of and the FCT.
The and is causing all the wahala.
Technicalities of
and. I remember in secondary school we used to learn all of this whatever. So the conjunction and has created a lot of vacuum where people are traveling to the moon to seek interpretation. Others are seeking God's face to understand what and is. Others are, consulting different things to understand the and English word and. Good. But the position of the and in that construction is the one causing. So we wait for the learned people, those who have the wisdom, and that's the courts and the judges, to now look at all of the ins and outs of and then make us understand what the and means in this context. So if the FCT, if 36 states and the FCT is mentioned in the Constitution, and it means that if you don't win 25% in the FCT, then you cannot stand you don't stand qualified. Or it is the issue of, it's just an addition to the 36 to make it like 37 states. After all, the Constitution in Section 299 had said that the FCT will be treated as any other state. So there is no special status. But we wait for the courts to give us that interpretation so that Nigerians can now go to bed. And when these pronouncements are now made, they become benchmarks and precedences where in the future there won't be confusion regarding the issue of and anymore. That and would have been demystified. So all of us will now understand. If it means that those in FCT will have a special status, that the moment you are an indigene of the FCT or you vote in the FCT, then you are a super citizen.
Yeah.
Then it means that going forward, anybody who wants to contest for presidency can now decide to focus only on the FCT. And then the moment you win FCT, then you are the next president, whether you win other states or not. So we wait for, exactly. The courts will be the one to demystify all of those so that Nigerians can go to bed and focus on what next for the governance for the next dispensation. So we wait for that to see. But however, it's a good thing that it is the courts. It is the tribunal that we're hearing all of those things. Hey, Your Honor, it's fine. It's better than hitting the streets. It's better than getting involved in fisticuffs here and there. Let the courts decide. So let the lawyers do that thing. The war, let it be in the tribunal. Back and forth and back and forth.
Compliance with the provision of the Electoral Act. INEC has, also laid its own perspective with regards to that before the tribunal, saying that they do not have to, upload the results at the time.
Oh, yes.
And that provision is actually in the Electoral Act.
Yes, that has also generated controversy. Recall that the issue of transfer and transmit also was causing an issue. Now, the point there is the law gives INEC the powers
to decide
how results are transmitted or uploaded, as the case may be. So we all know that even the beavers, recall the card readers in 2015 and 2019 that were used and so on, that some places it cannot read some people, and then incident forms had to be used and so on. It has shown time and time again that technology is good, but there are times where it fails.
Of course.
So where it fails, what happens in that case, in that instance? Of course, there are arguments in some quarters that, okay, if we didn't have issues in the National Assembly elections, why are we having issues in the presidential? It is still technology. The point there is, if there's a glitch, there's a glitch. But that INEC has said there are no what do you call it? The issue of transmission or transmitting or transferring of results. They have the powers to do that. The Electoral Act gives them the power to do that.
They decide how they want to.
If they promised, if INEC chairman was at Chatham House and was all over the place before the election saying, we will transmit the result electronically, Nigerians will be able to see the result in real time, as the case may be. And then on the election day,
he did not.
Something happened and he did not. It's still, that's not. So
it's a matter of trust.
Yeah,
actually.
No, of course, the issue of matter of trust is, but when INEC comes to explain what the issues are, I feel that one should understand. But, however, the point there is, what should be the cogent issue now is that the result from the polling unit, which everybody snapped and saw, is it different or is it the same as the final one?
And the agents of the parties.
That's what I'm saying.
Signed.
All of them were there. They signed, they snapped, they uploaded, as the case. Is it different from the final one at the collation center?
Yes.
So the moment there is then fine. Then
you have a case.
Then there is a case.
Yeah.
And it is that case, the differences in that number that we're saying, gather them like this from everywhere in the country and take them to the court, to the tribunal. So that the moment the judges see, okay, this is the one from the polling unit, Abi, and this is the one from at the collation center, okay, let us add everything. If they don't add up, then there is a case.
Yes.
But if we add them up and then everything adds up, as the case may be, then there's no need to going back and forth because the issue was not uploaded or in real time, as the case may be. So the point there is, it's good. Where I like what is going on is because people are beginning to become interested in what goes on.
Absolutely.
It is beautiful for democracy.
Absolutely.
We love it, right? However, in going about it, go about it knowing that whether you ventilate your anger or frustration, Nigeria will still move on.
Yes.
So be respectful, be civil, be constructive, because that's strength that everybody is wielding. Everybody has the strength, right? But we don't have to wield it in such a way that you are infringing on the other person's rights and so on. Absolutely. Let us do it within the acceptable standards and social behaviors that are benchmarks of behavior, as the case may be.
All right, we'll leave the conversation now.